I'm not really sure how to really say what I want to say, but I'm gonna say it. Um, this is my first video, kinda just talking about kinda like understanding yourself. Um, I went to a party last night, and it was a cool party. It was really cool. Um, Somebody's 21st, so of course I brought a gift, and it was nice. It was cool, but there's this girl that I really like, and we kind of, I guess hit it off, not in the way that I thought, but nevertheless, I wasn't under the impression that it wasn't the way that I thought it was. Um, and I work with this girl. She's really cool, but I started doing all these nice things for her, giving her free cards, doing things at work for her that I probably shouldn't be doing, but am doing anyways because I I want her to know, I guess, or maybe I'm just naive to the fact that if I do good things for people, maybe at some point that will be reciprocated to me. I kind of knew I really started liking this girl when I would start overthinking a lot, and everybody's guilty of that. I'm sure at least once or twice everybody's had their fair share of moments where they don't necessarily mean to, but in the heat of the moment, when you really enjoy somebody else's company, you don't want to look stupid. So you overthink and you try your best when you're around that person not to, I guess, mess up. And in doing so, you create all these false scenarios in your head that shouldn't be there. And the overthinking isn't always a bad thing, but most of the time it's not really good to do so. But we do anyways. And again, we totally don't mean to, but that's just kind of how it is. That's how you cope. That's how you make yourself feel better. And it sucks. It does. But anyways, I was at this party and um there were girls there and stuff, but I wasn't there for them. I was there for specifically her. I've done this multiple times where I've showed up because she was there, and we're talking like 40-minute, 50-minute drives, which, to be honest, are grueling drives. They suck, they're terrible, but because she was there, I didn't care to drive that far. But I talked to these girls, and one of them in particular, I won't name names, but she kind of was the wingman. She was the person that took the initiative and was like, I got you. Like, I'll take care of this for you. Not telling her everything, but just kind of setting her up for me. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. And in doing so, it ultimately kind of gave it away that I like this girl. Um, she already knew long before that because, again, I was doing all these nice things for her, and girls aren't stupid, you know. And they pick up on those things, and when she found out, I guess through the girl that was my wingman, she told her that basically she was talking to somebody else, and that was kind of it. But I felt crushed when she told me that and came inside because the girl that I liked was in her car, not with anybody, but just herself. She had gone away from the party for a little bit to um, discharge her views, and um, I felt crushed, but I couldn't stand there and just pretend that that was going to be the case. Like we were walking around messengers back and forth. Like this was the medieval times. So I walked outside and I walked up to her window and I told her how I felt. And she did not feel the same way at all. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I feel relieved, but I also feel crushed. Um, so crushed that after that all occurred, she ended up leaving for a while and coming back, but I sat out on a snowy back porch and um, I definitely cried, and that's because I hadn't felt that way about somebody in a very, very long time, and it hurts because I wanted her to be the one. I really did. I really wanted her to be the one, and it it's horrible because I work with this person, so now I have to carry that um, everywhere I go. That basically, yeah, this girl's not into you at all, and I have to somehow work around that. And I know it's gonna suck, and it's probably not gonna be fine for a while. And I just have to live with it. I mean, the saying goes, it is what it is. I live by it, but I hate that saying so much because of that. Because you are forced to say it is what it is, and you are forced to move forward, and there isn't a single thing you can do about it. And yeah, it hurts. It definitely hurts. If I could play it back, probably never would have said anything. Just because I know now that even though we both had told each other that, yeah, it's not going to be awkward, we can still be friends, while I try not to overthink about what comes next, it's hard not to when you kind of can see the writing on the wall, right? And it it just makes you realize that maybe it would have been better if you just never said anything at all. And even though that she might have already known that I liked her, at least she doesn't have the confirmation because I never told her. But now that I have, I've definitely complicated things and I made my whole situation kind of a bit more difficult. I got my closure though, so I can move on, but it definitely just it hurts. It still hurts. It the going was at that party to the point to where after that, after she came back and after we hung out for a little while and the small group that was left from the party, they I didn't say a word to her really. I just asked for something back that she had of mine and I left there shortly after. I was intoxicated at this party, but not brutally to a point that it was obnoxious to have me around, even though that I still feel that way to a lot of people. But that's a story for another day. The main point is I told her how I felt, and it still hurts. It still hurts, and I'll have to go to work the next day and somehow get around that, and I'm sure she'll probably end up eventually spilling the beans about that to coworkers she has conversations with, and then it'll probably be embarrassing for a while. Not that I really care what people think, but at the same time, I do a little bit, enough to make adequate, appearances and not, totally show up smelling like uh, a gym closet. But that's pretty much one of the stories that you'll kind of see on this channel, and um, if you took the time to actually watch this entire video, I definitely appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome, because there's more experiences to be told and things I haven't mentioned, but I feel like this was the one thing that I'd share for my first video on this channel. I feel like that's right, and this is the one of the only platforms that I could really express myself without any judgment or hate or anything of that nature. So, thank you. See ya.